Time now for the most competitive segment in all of sports that grows more literal by the day. Must win. First up, Christmas Day. Chiefs in Pittsburgh. Netflix debut. It's tomorrow at 1. Chiefs are rolling. Even though they don't light up the scoreboard, a lot of people are putting this graphic on and sending it to me on social media. I say, fine. I get bullied into putting it on the show.
Yeah.
Scored 30 points or fewer in every game this season. It's the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Giants, and the Raiders. All at one point great dynasties. Not really the Giants, but the Chiefs are the current dynasty, so that's a weird one, you know? For the Chiefs, Drew, must win.
I thought about, as the reigning champion.
Yeah.
I won it last week.
I tied it the week before.
Yeah.
I thought you said I was reigning champion.
You're the reigning champ.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
Y'all tied last week.
He wasn't even here last week.
We tied the week before.
We and Greg
Tied, but it's like a heavyweight
won.
championship belt. It was a draw, so the belt remains with the champ.
Thank you. Thank you, Wild.
Go ahead,
I
bro.
thought about passing and tossing this to one of you guys as strategy, but no, I'm going to keep this one. No, it is not a must-win for the Chiefs. It's a must-win for the Steelers. The Steelers have lost 2 straight games now. All right? They've lost 3 of their last 5. And after they lost to Philadelphia, a reporter asked Mike Tomlin, Coach, with the schedule coming up, and Tomlin says, it's a loss. Let's not be dramatic. Great quote, but he dismissed her. She was right. Because if you lose this game, that is 3 straight L's. You know what it'll start to remind me of? The 2020 season. Was it 2020? When they started 11-0 and lost 4 of their last 5? Because they got Cincinnati after the Chiefs. Cincinnati will be playing for their playoff lives likely. And so they could lose 4 of their last 5 games.
Well, that would be 4 in a row.
4 in a row.
Wow.
And it would be the same smoking, after all this love we've given to the Steelers. Oh my gosh, they're for real. Look at Russ. It'd be the same smoke and mirrors as it has for the past decade. You win a lot of games, but you're not a threat. They need to end the slide now. Must win for the Steelers.
Strong.
I think it's a must-win for Kansas City, and I understand what you're saying with the Steelers, but I don't think the Steelers are as good as maybe the record is indicated here early on. And from the Kansas City perspective, we talked about the rest component of it, which I think is valuable, but I think it's even more valuable to have that extra week to prepare for the playoffs, and which is underrated, but the ability to play whoever you want in the last game, then also from a coaching standpoint, not really have to worry about game planning for that game, and be able to look forward and game plan for the playoffs. That's where I see the value.
That's all exactly correct, and it is a must-win for the Chiefs. And nobody has mentioned the elephant in the room, which is revenge. Nightmare on Christmas was last year.
Yeah.
They've lost once in the last 364 days. What started this whole run was a loss last year on Christmas. Mahomes was asked about playing on Christmas again. He said, I was super excited about it until I found out Christmas was on a Wednesday. And locking up the 1 seed now, getting for Chris Jones, the best defensive player in football despite his low sack total, a full month off. For DJ Humphries and Jawan Taylor, both of your tackles are injured, a full month off. And it gets you to hollowed ground of, there's only been 1 team ever start better than 15-1. You are in real historic territory, and I had a bonus for you, Wilds. So must win for the Chiefs. It's also a must not buffer for Netflix. I was nonplussed with the Paul Tyson fiasco, and now we're going to have 100 million, or probably not 100 million, however many million people watching this Christmas Day. We need seamless streaming. Netflix must win for the Chiefs. It's go time for Netflix.
Media Ombudsman is on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Wow.
Why does
Although I
he
am
get
a fan of linear cable.
I actually would have given it to Nick just based off the Netflix.
Yeah, thank you, Coach.
I like that.
He wasn't even interested
Supporting
in that
all
fight,
media
Coach.
partners.
Good job.
We're all friends. Ravens favored by almost 6 when they take on the Texans Christmas afternoon. Lamar's passer rating, wow, historic. 2 Aaron Rodgers seasons, Peyton Manning, and then Lamar. So, Coach, is this a must-win for Lamar Jackson?
Well, obviously, it's a must-win from a football perspective, so you get a chance to win the division, you get a chance to play at home. but I think this is a must-win for Lamar because Lamar's committed to seeing Beyonce at halftime. And so by going out and committing to seeing Beyonce, he said that
Did you not see that, Brew?
I am going out to see her, and whether Harbaugh likes it or not. So when you're doing that, you better be able to back it up with the victory. The other nice thing about this is a longer halftime, so them being able to go through that process, come out and play well, it gives you a nice preparation for the Super Bowl should you make it.
Well, so listen, it's a must. The Beyonce point's a great one. It's a must-win for Baltimore because after they started 0-2, the best realistic case they could hope for is find a way to claw our way back, win the division, and probably get to the 3 line. That's what's on the line for them here. If you do that, then you all of a sudden you're the Ravens. You're like, who's in the AFC playoffs? We've beaten all of you except for Kansas City. And so, like, the Texans are going to be there. So this is absolutely a must-win. If they don't win this game, it basically undoes all the good they did by beating Pittsburgh a few days ago. So I agree with Coach. And, Coach, you made some great points.
Not really. It's not a must-win for Lamar because he's had the big games were Kansas City, he lost, and Pittsburgh. Those are the only big games. Everything else is it doesn't really matter, right? When he shines against someone other than the Steelers or the Chiefs, it doesn't matter. That's what I was told all last week.
You can fire back.
All right, that's what I was told all last week. Cincinnati,
Brew,
Buffalo,
what's
doesn't
the
matter.
third scenario that matters a lot? It's Chiefs, Steelers, and playoffs.
Cincinnati?
Playoffs.
Playoffs matter,
right?
But this is not a playoff.
Well, this sets up the playoffs.
This is not they're in the playoffs.
But are they going to be at home or on the road?
It's a must-win for the Ravens, not for Lamar.
What about MVP?
It is I don't even know that he really wants MVP. He wants that. So he's focused on the Super Bowl. This is a must-win for the Ravens. You don't want to kill the momentum that you did garner last week. So it's not a must-win for Lamar, but it's a must-win for the Ravens.
A low-scoring game. But I do like the sort of cattiness of Brew there.
What's that mean?
Just kind of not answering the question, just kind of taking shots at you. They call it trolling sometimes.
So he's going to get a point. This is an outrage, Coach.
Terrible.
Look, this is my game. Y'all, I told you I should be Brew's must-win.
Bengals in a literal must-win. Broncos in a would-be nice to win, even though they are 3.5-point underdogs. They haven't done great this year as underdogs. 2-6 as underdogs, but when they're favorites, Bo Nix rolls. So, Nick, the board is yours. You're down 2-0 to Brew.
What's the question, Wilds?
All the questions are must-win?
For the Broncos is what I wanted the audience.
Must-win for the
Mr.
Broncos.
Consistency?
Oddly, it is not a must-win for the Broncos. The Broncos got a true gift from the NFL scheduling gods before the year. When you're in a division with the Chiefs, you just pray. You're like, maybe, just maybe, one of the 2 times we play them will be the final week of the year. And we might get to play the Chiefs B team. Now, last year, the Chargers got that gift, and they lost anyway. They couldn't beat the Chiefs B team. The Broncos can lose this game, and assuming the Chiefs, which they will, beat the Steelers, the Chiefs are going to be resting the whole team next week. The Broncos can have another chance against Carson Wentz and company. So no, this is not a must-win for the Broncos. It obviously is a must-win for the Bengals.
Counterintuitive.
Okay, Nick did get it right in that it is not a must-win, but everything else was oh so wrong. Coach, if I'm the Denver Broncos, I don't fear the Chiefs. We should have beaten the Chiefs. Ooh. I want the Chiefs next weekend with everything on the line. I want the Chiefs' #1 seed on the line. I want our playoff spot on the line because we should have beat them. We went into Arrowhead, we muscled up, and we pushed them around, and we didn't finish the job because we let them block a field goal. But now, we're going to undo all of that mess. It's not a must-win because we want y'all in Week 18.
I don't know if we're grading on theatrics or logic, so I'm going to go with the logic route here.
Mostly
and
theatrics.
This is obviously
it's not literal.
A must-win for Denver. How could it not be? So if you win, you have your first 10-game winning season since they last won the Super Bowl. That's significant. You secure your spot in the playoffs. Next week, you give all your guys the week off so that you get your bye going into the playoffs and you get rid of the Bengals? I mean, this is about as obvious a question as you've asked in this contest.
Great points.
They're a solid point.
Coach's point about giving yourself the bye week is the best one.
I agree, but I need the
They
sizzle
were
with
all
the steak.
Look, in fairness, I've got an advantage. I have an IMDb page. I'm an actor. I get
What have you been?
checks. I get
He
checks.
was in The Sopranos.
I've been on.
With
You were in
he
some
didn't have a
student
talking
film.
line.
I've been in
I had
Sesame Street with a talking line, Ballers with a talking line.
Yeah,
The
Ballers,
Sopranos.
The Sopranos.
I'll put my IMDb against
Yes,
you.
exactly right.
Cowboys rounding into
And I
form.
ruined my pen.
Yeah, again.
Too late for the playoffs, but they hope to keep some momentum going against an Eagles defense that regressed last week against Jaden. Here's the numbers. 10-game winning streak, great. On Sunday, they gave him 22 points in the fourth quarter. So, Brew, I think it's back to you.
It is.
For the Eagles, is this a must-win? You're up 3-0. You just can't fumble this.
Thank you.
And then it's like Jeopardy. They can't touch you if you win this one.
Last week you made the money ball 5
Yeah,
points.
No, it was 3.
it was 7 the week before.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna play my hand. Pass.
No, you
Go
can't
ahead, Coach.
do that.
No, yeah.
That's
You
one
can pass. You can pass. Go ahead,
Then
Coach.
pass as well, Coach. We'll all pass. It'll end up back
No,
on him.
go ahead.
Pass.
Pass.
No.
On you, yes.
All right.
Yeah, there we go.
This is a must-win for Philly because if you lose, you're coming. I get it. Jalen was out, but you're coming off a tough loss. You don't want this to snowball. Remember last year, 10-1. I know there was rumblings about we're not playing well, but those were A-list problems, right? And, we're not playing well. I don't have $1 million. That's what that was. So if you lose again, though, all that stuff that was happening earlier in the season, you lose that momentum and it could start bringing funk watch vibes.
Wow.
I always toss one out.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all get back in it.
I feel very similar. I think that this is a little bit of like the fake tough guy thing where they lose to the Cowboys now after losing last week. It's pretty fragile there already. The vibes are off, the dynamics are off, and then they have another really disappointing loss. This could spiral, and we're back into the same situation we were before.
Wilds, go ahead and mark this one down.
Because
Because these guys, sadly,
Both
didn't. Dusty, I'm making a point. These guys, sadly, did not see the bigger picture here. This is a must-win because next week for the Eagles is an absolute, unequivocal must-lose. You know the only way they have to win this week, lock in their playoff seed, feel good about how their season ended. And then next week, they see across the field the New York Giants, who all the Giants have to do is lose, and they get the #1 pick of the draft. But if Philly, their divisional rival, throws that game to them, guess what their draft pick could fall to? Number 6. All the quarterbacks are gone. And John Mara's pulling his hair out what he's got. It's a disaster. So it's a must-win today, must-lose for Philly or the next week. And then you just ruin the Giants, and all of a sudden the Giants are drafting a tackle instead of a quarterback.
I have a counter.
No, that's
Okay,
not,
you
part
kind
of
of
this.
mailed this one in, but
Yeah,
if you want.
As the reigning champ, you get that counter. That's in the
one
bylaws. Look, that's all well and good. Here's the problem. Jalen Hurts might not play this week.
That's all right.
So if Jalen Hurts doesn't play this week,
Cooper Rush against Kenny
now
Pickett.
I need Jalen Hurts to play
No,
next
you don't.
week. Do I want to go into the playoffs with my star quarterback having sat for a month
The Chiefs are.
and not tasted victory in a month?
No.
I need him to play against the Giants and play
you
well.
can deny them.
I don't have a counter, but I really thought Nick was going to say this was a must-lose for them so that they keep McCarthy in Dallas.
No,
I thought that's where he was
it's
going.
more important
I think
that
Coach
you
should-
deny the Giants the #1 pick. Sorry,
Nick gets
Ramsey.
it. The fact that you guys had so many counters, that means the point was interesting.
Yeah.
So you actually hurt yourself when you
That's
do
fair.
that.
Okay.
How many points is this
I
one?
thought your counter
This
was
is worth 3 points. Coach can tie, Brew can have a blowout, and you can win.
Okay.
Jets-Bills. Aaron Rodgers had more quotes than points last week as the Jets mustered 9 points against the Rams. Bills' defense has been gettable, and Rodgers played pretty good the first time around. Remember this game, he came up 6 yards short of 300 yards. Coach, this is for the tie. Must win for Rodgers?
Aaron is working pretty hard right now to get cut. Like, as soon as you start making fun of the owner's son and saying, oh, I'm going to get released by a teenager, you're pretty much throwing down the gauntlet. You are legitimizing and you are validating everything that people have said about the owner's son being that involved when you start saying that on national TV. So he's put that in the mix, and now if he goes out and lights it up here at the end of the season, he actually has some value that people can look to, and then they can say, wow, that organization really was screwed up. It must have been them that caused all these problems, not you.
Exactly right, Coach. And I think that Chiefs win tomorrow. The Bills don't need the game. Aaron could look good against that banged up secondary. And it's not just trying to get cut. It's trying, he would only want to do that if there's a place he really wants to go. And what's the team that could have taken him number 1 overall that's part of the country where he wanted to, where he's from, and, you know, has a real quarterback question this offseason about what they're paying, who they're paying.
Missed on Brady.
Missed on Brady, who Mike Silver, who Brew deeply respects, publicly connected them to. Oh, the Niners. Wilds, set your bias aside and recognize, Coach and I, combo point. He wants to get cut. I say where he wanted to go.
Give him a combo point. Go ahead and do that.
That would hurt both.
Give him a point and a half each of them. Yeah. All right, that'll work. Just for that statement, he should be disqualified.
There is a Christmas bonus.
Yeah.
You didn't know about that.
This is not a must-win for Aaron, but a must-play well.
Oh, that's boring.
A must-play well. No one expects you to beat the Bills.
Ratings just
No one expects you to beat the Bills.
Turned it off.
But you got to go.
Not know we were
Split
doing
the
a
point.
question.
Split the point.
We're not in
Coach got it.
commercial.
Okay.
bro.
Coach gets it. A tie. A DMW. Double must win. Coach.
You don't get a bonus? 3.5
Coach,
points?
you came alive at the end. You're like the Cowboys. When the game was in the balance, you're out here doing nothing.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.